Welcome to the YRU podcast, Young and Rich University. Folks, we got a hot one for you today. Today, our special guest is Kamar Jackson. He's a banker, he's a real estate investor, he's a stock market investor, life coach, and he's a proud father of 3 boys. He's married to one of the most amazing women ever met, Kamara Jackson. And today, he's proud himself to be a new and young author in the financial business. Kamar, how are you doing?
Doing great, Frank. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
You have quite an expressive journey that you've been on financially. But before we get into that, just give the folks a little bit about you and what you're about.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to join you on a podcast. I've been watching your journey as well. Very proud of you. You're doing great things, and just wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
But,
Thank you.
Yes. About me, I like to say I'm a country boy because I grew up in the country. Yeah, but from very humble beginnings, I seek out the right information,
Right.
make the right alignments, and found myself in the right circle.
Yeah.
And I was able to build a portfolio, a wealth portfolio, and continuing to do that. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. So to start off this process, I've read your book here, the Millionaire Syllabus. And you see all my notes, sticky pads there. So I've read your book, and it's quite interesting. You really educate yourself or engage yourself in almost every sector of finances you have inside this book that you talked about. But before we get involved in all this stuff, I'm going to ask you one simple question, and one question that you have in the book here. What is money to you?
What is wow? I don't know if everyone is going to let me after this answer, but money is, that's a great question. So it's a long explanation, but pretty much, the gist of it is money is just a piece of paper. The money that we see right now,
Mm-hmm.
the fiat currency is just a piece of paper. There's no value to it. The real value is actually in the things that the money purchases.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah. So you say money is just a piece of paper,
It's just a
and
piece of paper.
what it affords us to buy is what brings the value.
That is exactly what brings the value. Yes.
And do you think the average person understands it from that perspective?
Definitely not. If you're talking about average persons, just a random person off the street that has not taken the time to educate themselves financially wouldn't understand it like that. One of the good things about this book, it kind of walks you through the journey of money, where it's coming from, as I call it, the genesis of wealth.
Yes.
And it speaks to the different facilities available under the wealth portfolio. So while money is good and everything, like if you're on a deserted island and you have $100 million, it has no value to you, right? So
Right.
you have to figure out a way to put your money into, use the money to purchase things that actually hold value. That way, the value of your money isn't deteriorating, but actually appreciating and growing interest.
And what are some of those things that you can put your money in to hold value, to appreciate, and give you interest?
Well, there are several things. As I see in the book, there are a lot of things. So I know, primarily your focus is real estate, and I feel like that's one of the best vehicles for your money. It doesn't matter, where in your financial journey you are. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So whether it's corporate real estate or it's personal real estate, so like personal homes and stuff like that. But besides that, you also have all the other things. So like stocks, businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You could invest in a podcast like you're doing right now. Books.
Yes.
Like there's so many things that you can invest in, but really and truly, the purpose of the book is really showing people that there's so many different avenues and different vehicles that you can invest your money in.
Yeah.
That if you don't know about them, then you can't take advantage of it, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
what is your initial when you get into the financial or your investment journey? What is your first opportunity that you took advantage of?
Well, before I came to Canada, right, I had several businesses. So like almost every teenager, they started selling something in school,
Yeah.
right? Something legal, right?
Yeah, that's important.
It was legal. It was bonbon and ping pong and all of those little
Yes.
candies and
Uh-huh.
stuff. So
Mhm.
um, when I was in grade 9, we went through a huge change in our life financially, right?
Mhm.
So my dad was the primary bread winner in the house,
Mhm.
and he got laid off.
Wow.
Yeah, so he got laid off. So now it's not like we're living lavish. Like we weren't living lavish, but we used to get lunch money to go to school. So now it's like you get fear and probably break money.
Yes.
So we had to figure out a way to add to that. So pretty much what we did is well, not we, but I have a twin brother, by the way.
Oh,
So
nice.
it is kind of
Congrats.
we, but yeah, we use
Uh-huh.
the money because we used to get it on Mondays. So we get our money
Yeah.
for the week on Monday. We get the money, we go to the supermarket and we buy
Mhm.
candy and we go back and sell it at school, right? So
So
that
how,
used
how
to
how
ensure that we have lunch money. Yeah.
how old were you at that point in time when your dad got laid off? If you can remember.
I'd say around 13,
13.
around
And
13,
how
something
did
like that.
that impact your life or your view of money when dad got laid off?
Well, I don't think I fully understood the concept back then, or even
Mhm.
really realized like it. For me, it was just survival,
Right.
right? It was just survival, but I didn't really understand fully the concept of what was really happening there. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand as well,
Mhm.
because they're so diligent at going to work every day, showing up on time, and it's like at any moment you could just snap your finger and it's all gone, right?
Right.
So you have to have something else, securing your finances just in case something happens, right? We're not saying that we want. Obviously, nobody wants that to happen, right? But at the same
Right.
time, it can
Hmm.
happen, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I talk about in the book is, how to create, how to save properly,
Hmm.
right? Uh, a lot of persons try to, send the money to their checking account, and they save the money in that checking account that the money is coming in, right?
And how you
Horrible idea.
recommend them saving? How you recommend them saving?
Horrible idea, because well, how what I recommend in the book is pretty much, if you can, if your HR allows this or offers this,
Hmm.
reach out to the HR and say, hey, I want to start saving,
Right.
right? So
Your
every
HR
week
department
before,
at work, you say?
HR department at work,
Right.
right?
So how does
Yep.
your HR department allows you or helps you save? Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, you reach out and say, listen, I want to start saving. What I want you to do is, before you send me my paycheck, I
Hmm.
want you to take 10% of that, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Camera's shaking, sorry. Yeah, 10% of that, whatever it is, and send it to this account. So that account that you're talking about is going to be your savings account, right? So it's gonna be separate from your checking account. And the reason you want to do that is, if you allow that money to go into that account that you're spending from, every time you're seeing that money, it's like you're going to be tempted to use it, right? But if the money comes out and goes into savings before you touch it, then you're no longer responsible to make a conscious decision of taking money out to save.
So hold on a second. This special account that this money going to is an
Mhm.
account that you created for yourself?
Yeah, you create that
Okay.
account. You get the checking, you get the account details. You provide it
Right.
with HR and
In
say, hey,
Yeah.
transfer the money to that account.
Okay. So and that money goes into that account and that's away from you.
It's away
Is
from
that
me.
money
You're not
earning
seeing it.
interest? Is that money earning anything, or is just money? Is just money you saving?
So that's just step one, pretty much, right?
Okay.
So and the reason I kind of structure it like that is, I want you to see the different avenues. So yes, you can save money. I don't recommend saving money in a savings account,
Right.
but you want to have some liquid cash available just in case something happens and you need to
Like
go into
emergency
savings.
money.
Emergency money.
Okay.
My
Excellent. Yeah.
recommendation is about like 3 months of savings or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, just save. 3 months of your salary in a savings account. You have that cash where if something happens, then you have access to it.
Right.
Now, once you get to 3 months of savings, you don't need to save anymore because that money in the savings account is growing by 1% per year. Inflation is 3%. So
So you're working against yourself now.
you're working against yourself, right? So don't put too much money in that, right?
Right.
So once you do that now, you have 3 months saved. Now you go into investing, right? Now, I don't recommend this, but if you want to use that money that you've saved up so far as your seed capital for investment, you can. Don't really recommend it, but because you know you don't want to sell yourself short, so to speak. Right. Once you got your 3 months in, now you start investing. So that same money that you were sending into that savings account, now you're going to set up another automatic deduction, right? But this time you're going to go to your bank. You go to your bank and say, from the savings account, I want you to take out X amount every month. So whatever that amount is, let's say $100, whatever it is, and I want it to go into this this investment. And they can you can talk to a financial investor advisor to figure out what investment strategies best
So
for
when
you.
you're saying take money from your emergency savings,
Yeah.
maybe $100, $200 per month, and you invest that into some form of mutual funds or stocks or segregated funds or something like that. Some form of, again, your financial advisor tell you exactly what to do.
Exactly.
But you still have the bulk of the capital still sitting there as an emergency. So
Well, it's a bulk right now, but eventually the
it will go
investment
down.
is going to surpass that, right?
So let me put a twist to this. One might ask, why do I need to save 3 months of my income when I have a line of credit with low interest rate?
So all right, I think I like the idea of having a line of credit. Like if you're a more advanced investor, then you can look into stuff like that. But I wouldn't advise a beginner to do that. And the reason for that is, you want to build up some sort of discipline with savings and investing
So the
first before
habit
you get into that.
of getting money and not touching it is what you want them to exercise.
Exactly.
I got you. I understand the concept now. Okay, so excellent. So now we save up this money. We have savings. We contact a financial advisor. We put in $100, $200 a month towards some form of investment that can give us return on our money, 10, 20%, whatever the return comes in to be. So what's the next step now?
Okay, so once you have that investment going, right? It is going to be in some sort of stock, right? So stocks are it's good. You have to diversify your portfolio, have money in different things, and stock would be one of them. But you don't want to put all of your money there, right?
Okay.
So once you get to a certain amount where you're able to invest into something else, so like something like real estate, then you can do that. But before you make any investment, right, you have to do your due diligence. Don't listen to a random guy on YouTube, right?
What do you mean? I thought YouTube was a new university.
Hey, I went to YouTube University too, but
and YouTube is a new doctor, and YouTube is a new mentor, and YouTube is a new
100%.
psychiatrist, and YouTube and Facebook, no, healing the nation.
But don't listen to one, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, don't listen to one person.
So you take a
listen to
variation
bunch
of options or opinions. Yes, gotcha.
Exactly, different opinions.
Yes, I funny thing is, I'm not a handyman, but I fix washing machines. I fix dishwasher, all on YouTube videos.
Yep. Definitely. Everything is on YouTube nowadays. But make use of the information, right?
Right. So you're pretty much what you're saying is, as you mentioned before, do your due diligence. So even if you can listen to someone on YouTube, get a different few options, and then you make your final decision from there. So now your investment is going of whatever kind of stocks and mutual funds you're going to buy, and at some point in time, how are we going to accumulate money based on your strategies to buy a home or investment prop? Because I think you're trying to say that's like the ultimate goal to get towards. You're working towards that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So how do you able to formulate enough capital to buy our first home or investment property?
Okay, so initially I talked about 10%, saving 10% of your salary, right? So I'm talking about, someone, let's say in the middle of the cycle there. But if you're starting out like fresh, so you're 18, you just got a job, you just started working, you don't have any responsibilities yet, right?
Right.
The most, you probably have a phone bill and that's it, right? Don't save 10, save 20, save 30,
Gotcha.
right? So that way, in your younger years, you're able to accumulate a little bit more. Now,
Right.
the other thing is, once you get to, if you're in the middle of the cycle now, and you're saving 10%, take a look at your finances,
Right.
right? And when I say your finances, I'm talking about your budget. Your budget is like the key to everything, right? All of your finances, the key is your budget. So when I say your budget, I mean, list out all of the things you spend money on. Try to put it in categories if you can, and look at where your money is going. A lot of times, when I work from home now, but when I used to go to an office, right? Sometimes I used to buy lunch.
Right.
But when you look at how much you spend a month on lunch,
It adds
it's
up.
ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Like it's $200-$300, right?
Right.
So sometimes you have to make little sacrifices like that, where instead of buying lunch every day, no, you want to have a little fun, right? You just don't want to. You have to live your best life at the same time, but budget it. So instead of buying lunch for 5 days, buy it for 2 days or buy it for one day, whatever you're comfortable with. Or
Right.
if you're okay with not buying lunch at all, then that's fine too. Like don't buy lunch at all and just cook at home and bring it with you. So that's
Right.
one way you can generate some more money that you can use for investments.
So what's wrong? You're saying I should start save money from 18, 19, 20 years of age. What's wrong with the concept of enjoying life when you're young and reward it when you get older? What's wrong with that concept?
So I'm not saying you can't enjoy life, but at the same time, if you budget properly, you can
Right.
enjoy life and save,
And
right?
save. Okay.
So I'm
So
not going to tell
I
you.
think one of the things you're saying, and we get this right, and folks pay attention. What he's saying is that when you don't have the high financial responsibility and burden as yet, that's when you should maximize most of your investment. Don't wait when you
Exactly.
start having wife and kids and husbands and all this kind of stuff and car loans and maybe student loans. And all of a sudden you have this tight monthly debt to income ratio, then you're trying to invest. And this is the other thing I was going to mention, I was going to ask you, but before you answer the question, I was going to ask you, but Kamar, people out here living paycheck to paycheck, they can barely save $1 a month. But as you explained, if you start when you're 18, 19, before you have all the family responsibility, it puts you ahead of the game. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And it's funny, you said something just now, the paycheck to paycheck persons. If you're
Yeah.
living paycheck to paycheck, no, this is going to look impossible to you, right? But it is still possible if you know what you're doing, right?
Right.
Again, the first thing you're going to start with is your budget. A lot of people live in paycheck to paycheck. They have a Netflix subscription, a Disney subscription. They're paying for YouTube Premium, like
Cable bills and
Spotify.
all this kind of stuff, TVs, yeah.
You're spending so much money entertaining yourself when what you should be focused on is educating yourself, right? Because if you're living
I
paycheck
like
to
that.
paycheck, it's very likely that you're not in your ideal job.
You hear that, folks? You spend a lot of time entertaining yourself from all these subscriptions you're paying for monthly. You're not even using it, okay? I don't know. I've never watched 300 channels in any given month on any monthly subscription, okay?
Yeah.
And I only talk to one person at a time and all these different call features the phone has. And Kamara said you should be educating yourself. Again, folks, we talked to Kamar Jackson, the author of a new release book, The Millionaire Syllabus. Kamar, folks hear what we're talking about. They like what you're saying. How do we get a copy of this book? How do we get access to this book?
It's available on Amazon. I'm not sure if you'll have the link in the bio, but in the description.
Right.
But I can send that to you.
We
But
can
yes, it's
add that
available on
after.
Amazon. You just search the Millionaire Syllabus, or you can search for my name, which is Kamar, and last name
Kamar
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Easy to remember. Kemar,
Yes, very
first name, last name Jackson. So you can just search on Amazon by the name of the book, The Millionaire Syllabus, or my name, and you'll find it.
Excellent. And the
It's
folks,
very affordable.
very affordable. It has lots of information. Kamar break down almost every sector of your financial life you need to know about in this book, from stocks to ETF to mutual funds to insurance to real estate to variation type of real estate, property management, rental. This is like a financial encyclopedia.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
everything you need to know to awaken your financial senses so you can get onto your path. If you are just starting out into finances, as you said, from 18 years old. So that's fast track now, Kamar. Now they're stable. They have a family. They have kids. They maybe have their first home. What was a financial plan, or was a financial discipline they need to either increase or maintain, or go back and start doing based on your financial journey?
So depending on where you are in your family structure, I'd say, or in your family journey, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot of options, right? So I know there's a guy living next door right now, right? Um, Single guy, single person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lives alone in a 3 bedroom house,
Right.
right? So if you're single and you live alone in a 3 bedroom house, you have some options, right?
Right.
I'm not, obviously having your own home provides some sort of comfort, but if comfort is what you want, then really and truly what you should be focused on is ensuring that your finances are in order, because if your finances are in order, you can live
Mm-hmm.
very comfortably,
Right. Of
right?
course.
So if you think you're
Extremely
comfortable
comfortable.
now, just imagine when you're actually financially stable,
Right.
right? So, and I'm not telling anyone to do this, but if you want, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of living by yourself in a 3 bedroom house, you can rent a 1 bedroom condo, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then rent out your 3 bedroom house to somebody,
So find
right?
something that's
It could
more
be
cheaper.
Airbnb, it could be,
Right.
sorry.
So find something that's more cheaper to accommodate your single lifestyle, and let a family of three or four afford a bigger home, and they be paying you.
They'll be paying you. So instead of you
Right.
having to worry about that mortgage every month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Somebody's gonna come and pay for you.
What about the option of getting a roommate in to occupy those other two rooms?
Absolutely. Some people don't like to live with other people, so
Right.
I can understand that, right? But you could get a roommate, get two roommates,
Right. Exactly. My
right?
first journey, I bought a triplex. It was 3 units. I live upstairs and I have two
Yeah,
apartments downstairs. And they both pay me rent. The two apartments pay the mortgage for like 6+ years. I lived there literally rent free, mortgage free. And
just
all I had
like
to do
that.
is put the seed capital to start off the investment. So
You know,
um, go ahead.
yeah, before I met you, right? I have never thought about renting my basement. It has
No?
never occurred to me. Like, there are people out there I know right now that have never ever contemplated renting out the basement,
But I tell
right?
people, your basement is the cheapest condo you can buy. And they said, Frank, what do you mean? I says, the basement is about 6, 7, 800, 1,000 square foot. A condo is about the same square footage. The cost for
Yeah,
your basement is $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 to set it up. The cost for your condo is 7, 800,000. You choose. A lot
yeah.
of times
There
you
you
do the
go.
math. The income from the condo for the basement is like $200-$300 difference. But the cost is mega, and you don't have maintenance fee in your basement. You don't have property tax in your basement. You're already paying for the house. So it's the
There
cheapest
you go.
condo you can buy. So if you have a basement apartment, or a basement, and you're not doing anything with it, you're actually giving away money. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've talking to a person, and they're like, I don't want to rent out my basement. I have all this stuff in there. Put that
Mm-hmm.
stuff in get a storage unit. If you're looking
No,
for storage, put
church in
it
the
in a storage unit.
church in the
You
garbage.
can move in the basement if you want. If you don't want to move in a condo, move in the basement, rent out upstairs, or
Mhm.
close it off and rent out downstairs. Right? There's so many different options, and I think
Right.
if you talk to someone like Frank, although he's retired,
You talk to my kids now.
yeah, talk to his kids. They can make a lot of different. They can give a lot of different options, and
That's
help
correct.
you to help you to figure it out, right?
Right.
Within the I guess the young and rich circle, right?
Absolutely.
There are
Educate
so many
themselves.
different persons that you can get access to. So whether it's real estate
Mhm.
persons, or it's mortgage persons, or it's
Right.
persons to help you with your construction or renovation.
Right.
There's so many persons in there, so many resources that you get access to.
Right.
It's crazy. So yeah,
Absolutely. So, also, folks, I just want to, me and Kamar just having dialogue talking about this book, the Millionaire Syllabus, promote Kamar book, and what what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to get caught up on the real estate. This is not a real estate interview or real estate episode. This is about Kamar showing you your financial options. So if you don't have the money to buy real estate, you can buy some stocks. You can contact a financial advisor and buy some mutual funds, some segregated funds. You can start budgeting. You can organize your finances through proper insurance products. You can do property management. So what he's doing here, folks, is allowing you to see different financial strategies. So you're not stuck thinking, wait, I got to work hard for the next 20 years to save $25,000 to buy a house that I wouldn't have to afford to buy. He's saying, in the meantime, you're trying to get involved in that real estate journey. Start investing, start that savings, start anything you can put together financially to organize yourself to go to the next level. So don't get caught up too much on real estate. I'm biased because I'm in real estate, but I didn't always start in real estate. Some of the strategies Kamar was talking about in his book, I've practiced some of those strategies. I've practiced one of the first book I've read is The Wealthy Barber. The Wealthy Barber never talked about real estate. It was about same thing. Or managing your money is about budgeting. Just Kamar just went way over the top, but he gives you everything.
So
it was just managing money. They talk about investing in GICs in the Wealthy Barber, like getting 3-4% a year, and you become a millionaire doing that if you budget right. Okay, so a lot of times people get caught up because they see everybody on TV and everywhere talking about real estate and talking about stocks and stuff. You can become successful just managing your money properly. Like Kamar says, you're buying lunch every day. That's $200-$300. You transfer that from taking lunch to work. You transfer that $200-$300 into some form of investment or into that savings account. And you can retire young. You can retire rich. Okay. Because one of the things people don't realize with investment becomes risk. So the guy that gains sometimes loses at times, and the guy that gains sometimes loses at time. Whereas if you just invest in conserving a GIC, or back in this, we should do Canada savings bonds. It just keep going. It just go trickle up and up.
yeah.
It doesn't go it doesn't have the fluctuation, right? So it's different options. So, anyways, Kamar. So, what about insurance? I see you talk about insurance in your book, and that's very important to our community. What about insurance?
Insurance, it's kind of a funny subject in the sense that I always hear people say, why do I need insurance?
Right.
Especially younger people. Why do I need insurance? But if you look at the rate at which people are dying, like dying young, dying old, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If everyone in your family had an insurance policy, how much better off your family would be. No, we're not trying to benefit off anyone's death here, but people die. It's just a fact of life, right? And I don't want to sound morbid or anything, but at the same time, if everyone had an insurance policy, we would be able to give them a proper funeral or burial, and also set up yourself so that you're able to take care of the family without that person.
But
right?
what's wrong in benefit after the death of someone? Because I hear a lot of people say that and they push back at it. And I'm asked the same question. What's wrong in benefiting after the death of someone?
Yeah, especially if, you had nothing to do with the person's demise,
Right.
But you have nothing to do with it. So what's wrong with it, right? But
Yes.
I just said that because I know some people feel maybe just lost a loved one or something like that. So I don't want to rub them the wrong way, so to speak.
Yeah, I have no problem benefiting after the death of someone. When I die, my family will benefit from
Really?
when I pass. Of course they will. Why I think we're building generational wealth is that when I'm gone, my kids, my loved ones can have a better life.
Yeah.
So I think to think of, and this is why I'm talking about it. There's people who have the same mindset of don't want to benefit from the death of someone, a loved one, and they refuse to get life insurance. And not only they won't be able to benefit from their loved one, it become a financial burden when their loved one pass on them. So not only you pass and gone, I have to pay all these bills that you leave me with, and also potentially forcing widows and or husbands and kids into bankruptcy because the costs to bury their loved one was so high, and they weren't prepared for that.
And there's this other concept as well where when you look at it, a lot of men, especially men, they're like, if I pass away, I don't want my wife to remarry, right? I don't want my wife to go find
Then
another
take her with
husband.
you then.
Well, guess what? But guess what? If you don't have an insurance policy or you don't have anything financial set up for her to
Mhm.
be financially stable when you're gone, she
She
will
has
have to remarry because she
even
can't pay the mortgage by herself.
even if you leave her with money, her life doesn't stop because you're stopped. Her life has
Well,
to
I'm not going
continue.
to go into the morality of it.
I mean, it's just
you know,
common sense,
I'm
right?
just from a
Yeah,
financial perspective. If you don't have an insurance policy,
yeah,
she definitely is going to have to remarry because she has kids to take care of. She has a mortgage to pay.
yeah.
Like she has to get that money from somewhere, right? So if you leave her with a nice insurance package, guess what's going to happen? Now she can
Uh-huh.
stay at home, right? She don't even have to work anymore. She can stay at home and take care of the kids,
That's what you think.
right?
That's what you hope.
I'm not saying she should. I'm not saying she should. I'm just saying she can, right? She
I,
has
I,
the
I,
option.
I think men should be prepared to come to the comfort that your wife will remarry. She will find a new husband or boyfriend if she's young enough. Because if she's young, that's most likely you had a premature death. Okay,
Mhm.
you were in die from old age or sickness. So even if you're older, she can need companionship. And what's wrong with that? If she passed, you probably go looking for the same thing too. So
There you
to
go.
make that obstacle towards your financial planning, which normally happens, I think is crazy.
It is crazy, man.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy.
yeah, so you know what? Going back to the financial piece,
Yeah.
one of the important things that we haven't talked about yet is
Mm.
the mindset, right?
Right.
So we
Yes.
talk about the money, but if
Hmm.
you notice, one of the things how I started the book, I started with the mindset, because you
Right.
have to get your mind right. You have to. I like to use a term like to reprogram your mind because you know love them as much as you do your dad or your mom or your
Hmm.
grandmother.
Right.
They try their best, they love you very much,
Yep.
but they don't know anything about financial planning.
Absolutely not.
So
Absolutely
yeah,
not. Yes. Yeah.
they'll
Hmm.
tell you, hey, put your money under the mattress
Hmm.
or put your money,
Yeah.
and one of the things my dad always drilled in my head, which is good by the way,
Hmm.
but there's a piece that was missing. So he
Right.
always said, it's not what you earn, it's what you save. So
Right.
save your money,
Hmm.
right? So I took that literally as save my money,
Yeah.
right? But he has never said invest.
Right.
But the thing about savings is, when you're saving money, you have to keep in mind about this. I don't know if it's a lovely thing or a horrible thing called inflation,
Right.
right? So you have to get your mind right. So first thing you got to do is understand how money works, right? So in terms of interest, inflation, and the rise and fall of
Hmm.
prices of like real estate and all of that. Kind of
Right.
understand how all of that works.
Hmm.
You have to get into the right mindset in terms of how you think, your discipline, your confidence, being organized, being focused, how to plan for stuff, right? You have to get into the right mindset for that
So,
because if you're not in the right mindset, one of these things is going to come up short and then it's going to affect you.
so I find over the years that it's been a bit of a struggle for a lot of people to get that mindset as you discuss towards the financial mindset. What do you
Yeah.
find in your research or in your journey that is some of the easiest way for people to get get the light bulb turned on it, as per se?
Um, one of I was thinking about one of your podcasts you had
Mhm.
recently with the Rich and Switch.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So persons, they want to stay the same mentally,
Hmm.
but change everything else around them, and it's never going to work,
Of
right?
course
If
not.
you're around the same friends, if
Mhm.
you're doing the same things you've been doing, you're just going to get the same results over and over again,
Right.
right? So something has to change. So that's the first. You have to understand that something has to change. Things are not going to
Right.
be the same, right?
Mhm.
So if you used to spend 2 hours on Instagram, right, I'm not saying not to go on Instagram. Cut it in half, right? Spend 1 hour on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say we spend 1 hour on YouTube, it's not watching music videos. You know, find find a financial podcast like this one and watch it and learn something
Absolutely.
new, right?
Yes.
If there's something specific that you're struggling with, it- that's you can Google it and search it up. So, for example, if you're struggling with being organized, there's a lot of videos on about being organized. Focus, there's a lot
Excellent.
of videos about focusing, a lot of videos about planning, about discipline, about anything that you can think of that you're struggling with. There are a lot of videos out there. And if you have the money to
Mhm.
pay for professional help, there's also professional help as well that
Like a
you can get.
mentor or something like that, a coach.
You can get a mentor as well.
Mhm.
Think about the most successful person you know. Find a way
Mhm.
into their circle. When I say I don't mean like I know Elon Musk, not like that.
Right.
Persons that you know personally, or
Right.
let's say persons that know you, right, and
Mhm.
find a way into their circle.
So someone local you can access either by
Yes.
phone, in person, or so on. So let me give you a bit of a pushback because you talk about budgeting, and some folks are frank, budgeting is boring. I can't sit and
Yeah.
itemize a coffee and a sandwich and how much times I go on the road in the car and how much all this stuff. I can't itemize my latte. I just like to go out and have fun or go out and spend. How do you help those kind of people that doesn't matter what you do, they just can't budget?
Well, I feel like I would ask them the question. You know, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years?
I
Like,
want to be
where do you want to
rich.
be?
I want to have
You want
money.
to be rich? Well, you have to make some changes. You got to
Yeah.
make some changes. But with budgeting, there are a lot of budgeting softwares out there that are free.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that you're going to every single month you got to look at
Hmm.
what you spend and itemizing and stuff like that. I'm saying do this exercise at least once so you have an idea. Because trust and believe, the
Hmm.
minute you do that, it's going to set off a light bulb.
Right.
Right? I have a cousin of mine that I helped with budgeting. He
Hmm.
didn't. Well, he did finish high school, but he's not. He's not an academic, right?
Right.
And he was struggling financially. And I'm like, listen, we're gonna sit down and do a budget, and then we'll see what's going on,
Hmm.
right? When we did his budget, a quarter of his pay,
Hmm.
so whatever his pay is, right, a quarter of his pay went to weed and alcohol, right? So
One,
when I did the
that's
budget,
one quarter.
a
Imagine what
quarter of his pay.
Kamar's saying to save 10%. Here you put in 25% of your income in weed and alcohol. Go ahead.
So you see, when he saw that, it's like
Mhm.
immediately the light bulb go off, and he's like, "That is crazy how much." And I'm like,
Yes.
because he's in Jamaica, right? He keeps
Yes.
asking me for money. I'm like,
Mhm.
aren't you working? Like, why you keep asking me for money?
Good your
I'm
job.
like, let's sit down on budget. A quarter of his money went into weed and
Yes.
alcohol,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And this is someone that he can buy a phone card to put on his phone. Yeah, somebody that can buy a phone card to put on his phone, and a phone card is like $1,
That is crazy.
right?
So
Credit for his phone. So
so budgeting, I think, is a struggle for a lot of people. I remember back in the days I used to mentor folks, and I tell them you have to budget. And I said, Frank, I can't budget. It's boring. Is this all that kind of stuff? And I says, okay, you don't know the budget? No. Okay, this is what you do. You need to make more money than you spend. The person, okay, that is easy. I can do that.
that's the
So
easiest way to put it.
yeah. So they said, I said, then you got to learn to make more money than you spend. And it says, oh, well, that's easy. I can do that. I said, don't itemize everything. Just make more money than you spend. So, which technically is budgeting in reverse, right?
Yeah.
So they said they get that. So sometimes to sit down and put together all these itemized things is very difficult for a lot of people. And as Kamar said, there's a lot of professionals out there who can help you. There's software, there's apps, there's management coaches that allows you to manage your money. There's financial advisor help you do those kind of things. So if you can't sit and do it and it's too boring for you to do, okay, hire a professional who can come in and clean up your finances and get you on the right track. Okay. Um, the other thing, Kumar, some people are looking for opportunities. How do they find new opportunities? And in the sense of business opportunities. We understand real estate, we understand stock and mutual funds. How do they find business opportunities? What do you see is available out there? And what do you think is easy for an average person looking for a business opportunity to get into the market?
I think that it's a skill, but it can be learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read this book. What's the name? I don't remember the name of the book, but I think it's the first paragraph. It spoke about a fly, right? And when tell you the story, you probably remember know which book I'm talking about. But the fly was sitting on a windowsill, and he's trying to get out, and he was just knocking against the glass, knocking against the glass, knocking against the glass,
Yeah.
right? And right across the room is an open door, and I'm looking. I'm like, that is a lot of us right now. We're
Absolutely.
here
Yes.
knocking against the glass, going to work every day, 9 to 5, 9 to 5,
Mhm.
9 to 5, and right over there, there's a
Wide
huge
open
opportunity.
door.
But guess what?
Mhm.
You can't see the opportunity because it is not in your purview. Like
Yes.
you have tunnel vision. You're looking like this, and what you need to do is this, right? You need
Yes.
to open your perspective.
So you need to open
So
up your mind to see what's available around them.
exactly. So
Yes.
one of the things I like about this book is it gives you a lot of ideas. There's a lot of ideas in there, and it kind of teaches you how to look for them, right?
Right.
Um, so I'm not saying the book is a door. The book isn't the door, but the book
Right.
is going to do this, right? It's
Open up.
going to
Yeah.
open your
So you can see the
perspective.
door. Yeah. So
Exactly,
so
lead you to the
so
door.
let me talk about that. A lot of people like tips. So
Yeah.
what is a tip on a business model you think that an average person get involved in right now and either start off the process, make some money, or get involved in the business market? What business that you see that makes sense right now?
So I like offer businesses, right? And what I mean
Offer.
by that is
Mhm.
there's this guy Myron, I think you follow him as well. He's always talking about making more offers, right?
Mhm.
And an offer is something that you can sell, but you still have it. It's like a
Right.
magic trick.
Mhm.
So like the book in your hand, right? I sold you that book,
Right.
but I still have it. I
Right.
can sell a book to somebody else,
That's
and
correct.
I can sell it to somebody else over there,
Mhm.
right? This podcast is like an offer as well,
Right.
right? When somebody consumes a podcast, you still have it. Like somebody else can come and consume it.
Yeah.
So look for offer type businesses. Those are the easiest ones to get into,
Mhm.
and then try to stay away from selling your time for money, right?
Mhm.
So when I say selling your time, any type of business you're doing, you have to put some time into it, obviously,
Yeah.
right? But if you can figure out a way to create something that you can sell over and over again, that's the best type of business I'd say you want to get into.
Excellent,
Now,
folks. We're talking
it's
to
not
Kamar
easy, but
Jackson. Go ahead. Mhm.
yeah, it's not easy, but it's definitely doable.
We talked to Kamar Jackson, the author of Millionaire Syllabus. Kamar, tell him how to get access to this book again, Amazon, and if there's a website, all that kind of stuff. Give them the contact information to buy this book, the Millionaire Syllabus. Your financial pathway from beginning to from the basic to beginners to entry level to advanced. Go ahead, Kamar.
Yep. So again, the book is currently available on Amazon. We're working on setting up some other social media spaces as well.
Mhm.
There is an Instagram for the Millionaire Syllabus, but we're still doing some stuff with it, so it's not fully set up as yet. But if you want to follow the Millionaire Syllabus on Instagram, you can.
Instagram.
Um,
I use
yeah.
Facebook as well.
Sorry.
You in Facebook as well?
I do have a Facebook personally. You can
Okay.
reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. If you're unable to
Excellent.
find the book, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's in my LinkedIn bio. It's in my Instagram bio as well. Kamar Jackson. I guess it's just
And
Kamar
this is
Jackson. You can just search.
Amazon.com
Just type
or
type my name in Google, and you'll find a lot of resources that you can use
this
to reach
is
out to me.
in Amazon.com or .ca, which Amazon or
It's
both?
both of them.
Excellent. So
So
we have a lot of
it's on
US viewers as
Amazon.com,
well.
Amazon.ca.
Right.
Um, it does have a lot of Canadian strategies in there, but yet
Mhm.
most of my book sales actually come from the US, which is
Nice.
it's
Yes.
quite fascinating
Yes. Very
because
good.
a lot of people from the US do invest in Canada as well.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, so but yeah, you can find it
Excellent.
on Amazon. That's the best place to go for it.
And you talk about building confidence in your book. That's a big challenge for a lot of people. How does someone build confidence, or someone even identify they're lacking confidence?
Well, I think if you're not a very confident person, most persons will know that. You can ask your partner, ask your best friend, do you think I'm confident?
Mhm.
Right? they'll give you if it's your real friend, they'll give you an honest answer,
Partner
right?
probably tell you yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So if you don't know if you're confident or not, that's probably one of the best ways to do it.
Mhm.
But if you're trying to build confidence, it starts with little things, right?
Yes.
So let's say you're waking up in the morning, and I have this book called The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins,
Mm-hmm.
and she speaks about doing things within 5 seconds, right? You count
Right.
down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. You do it,
Mhm.
right? But one of the things that she speaks about is when you wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
What is the first thing you do? Most people, not everybody, because some people don't need an alarm. But the first thing a lot of people do is they hit the snooze button,
Right.
right? So that right there, you're telling yourself, even though I told myself I'm getting up at 9 a.m., I'm not
You
getting up at 9 a.m.
you're turning off the alert.
You're turning off the alarm. So you're
Yes.
subconsciously you're telling yourself you can't trust yourself to follow through on any decisions that you've made.
And what does trusting yourself has to do with confidence?
I mean, it's in the name. I mean, confidence comes from the word confide,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're confiding in yourself.
Right.
So it's all it's all about belief. You tell yourself you're going to go to the gym, right?
Right.
And you find a million excuses. Oh, look like the house wants to sweep out. Let me sweep. These dishes. Let me go wash these dishes. You find a million excuses and you don't go to the gym, right? You tell
Right.
yourself so many things that you're going to do and you don't do it. So if
So,
you don't believe in yourself, why
so
should other people believe in
when you
you?
start losing trust in you, it affects your self confidence. That's what you're saying.
100%.
Right. This is
100%.
important, folks. Pay attention. It's important that you trust in yourself. And what he's saying, by repeating doing something over and over again consistently in a timely manner, you are creating confidence in yourself, which turns out or comes into play into your business practice, your behavior practice with other people. So that's so
100%.
important. So if you set your schedule, you wake up at 5 o'clock, doesn't matter how you feel. When the alarm goes off, you get out that bed. You have no other option.
Practice.
Right. You do the same thing over and over
Practice.
again, and that's how you build confidence. My
Yeah.
definition of confidence is doing 2 or 3 things consistently. You can do it in your sleep.
In your sleep?
Yeah, you can do it in your sleep. I mean, you can get up anytime and do it, and you can pretty much guarantee the results.
Oh yeah. So I,
So
I
you
think
become
that's
very confident in that particular thing,
I call
whatever
that
that is.
mastery.
Sorry?
I call that mastery.
Mastery. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's when you can do something subconsciously.
Right.
And for you to understand what an example of mastery is driving. For most people, not
Right.
everybody can
Mhm.
drive. It's
Yeah.
driving, right? So a lot of times, let's say you're driving from Bowmanville to Toronto,
Yeah.
and then you get to Toronto, you're like, wait, I was driving all this time, and it's like you're subconsciously driving. You're not like,
You're not
your
active.
your
Focus.
your focus is on you're thinking about the meeting that you're going to, or
Right.
you're thinking about something else,
Hmm.
right? But you're driving,
Yeah.
and you're making all the right decisions on the road. You've turned on
Mhm.
your indicator, turn off the indicator, but you're not thinking about driving because
Right.
you've mastered it in a way where you can just allow your subconscious mind to do it,
Right.
right? Or driving to work or driving to somewhere that you always drive to. Like,
Hmm.
you don't have to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
before you get to the corner, the corner is coming up, you turn on the indicator, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a pothole in the road. Before you get to the pothole, it's there. So you slow down.
Excellent.
I think that is mastery, and that's a whole different concept.
Yeah.
But
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent. Um, you said the top 10 common problems faced by people. What are those? Give me a couple of them.
well, the number
Number
one the number
Huh?
one issue is finances. It's
Finances.
financial, yeah, financial. Uh, a few of the others you have mental wellness.
Yes.
You have fatigue. Or let me see if I can. 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we talk to Kamar Jackson, the author of the Millionaire Syllabus, step-by-step guide into your financial wellness. From every part of finances is in here. from insurance to mutual funds to stocks to ETFs. He talks about the
Hmm.
ETFs in the book. Different form of real estate, property management. You talk about mentorship, coaching. You talk about businesses. So if you're looking for a step-by-step guide to a financial balanced lifestyle, you want to get this book. He says on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and contact Kumar and read this book, folks. It's a very, see all my sticky notes. I'm going back and stuff that caught my attention. I put a sticky note in them and I go back and in my spare time and I review it. I have this on my nightstand, my bed, and you talk about educating yourself versus entertaining yourself. Every day I read between 15 minutes to an hour of some form of educational stuff that's important to me, whether it's financial, self-development, health, some form of
I
health. You
think
see,
they can afford an hour.
sorry, an hour. That's yeah.
They can afford an hour. Yeah, don't
It,
not 15 minutes. You can.
I couldn't afford. Well, if they're
Yeah,
sending 250,000 texts a day, they can definitely afford an hour to read.
exactly,
See, I like
exactly.
health. I'm
And
into my green stuff, green juice. Yeah.
the
Yes.
good thing about podcasts like this, for example, is like you could put it on, like you don't need to see our faces, right? You could you can put the phone down and do laundry, or you can do you can wash some dishes, or
Listen to the
whatever it
audio.
is you're
Yeah.
doing. You can have it playing in your ears. Just put in pop in a headset and
Hmm.
have it playing,
Yeah.
right? And it's teaching you. And even though sometimes your mind will wander, you're still subconsciously, you're still hearing it, so
Right.
subconsciously you're still absorbing the information. So when the time comes to make decisions, you'll make decisions based on what you have in your subconscious.
And
So
on my podcast, many others out there, is very family friendly. Folks, don't be afraid to sit with your teenagers or your young kids and listen to
mhm,
financial stuff. It might sound foreign to them initially because the language and the terminology we're using, but as a parent, you can explain it to them. I used to listen to all my financial stuff when my kids in my car with me. Listen to the Robert Kiyosaki's and the David Back and you name it, the guys of that time. I listened to all of them.
Jim
And
Rohn.
because at the same time I was building my financial vocabulary, I want my kids to learn the same thing too. And a lot of times, like, dad was this, dad was that. And you can explain it to them. A lot of times we think that they're too young and they don't want to know this kind of stuff, but that's the time you need to start implanting those financial vocabulary in their brain. So when later on in life it started to make sense to them. Okay. And rather than learn it later on, they learn it then and they kind of understand it later on in life. And that's so important. So this book is so easy that you can buy this book and then you can read it with your teenagers, the ones in college or teenagers in high school. You can read it with them so they can understand what finance is about, and from that point on, you can explain the things that they don't really understand. And they're always going to be a child in the family that likes money. They like money. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can start say, hey, if you finish this book or you finish 20 page, I'll give you $1. Yeah, you
Well,
finish,
not a dollar, but yes.
well, some
My
form of
son, my
compensation.
6-year-old son would not go for a dollar,
No, how
so we
much you
probably
would
have to up
want?
the stakes a little bit.
How much you want?
No, I'm saying that my 6-year-old son would not go for a dollar, so you may have to up the stakes a little
Well,
bit.
if I can up the stick, he's willing to finish the book.
Yeah, there you go.
If you finish the book, I'm just giving you a few pages in compensation. If you tell
Yeah.
me, Dad, I want more than $1, I say, okay, what are you willing to do more than $1? You're willing to finish half the book in a weekend? I give you $100. Okay, so what I'm saying, folks, give them incentive to read and incentive to educate themselves. Okay, and let them understand this here. I teach my kids about money very early in life, so they like money. So, all right, so we talk financial conversation from their young, and that's so important. And you have a guide here, step by step guide you can introduce them to. I've maybe I've missed that part. Do you talk about credit in the book, Kamar? Have you talked about credit in the book?
Yeah,
Right. So
I
talk
do.
about credit, which is so important, especially to our community. Get them involved in credit. Any final words, Kamar, you want to let these folks know before we wrap things up, or anything you want to let them know, or
Yeah.
what's next
Um.
for you?
Sure. So let me start with the one thing I want you to know is I wrote this book for my son. Right. He's 19.
Mhm.
He wasn't making the best financial decisions.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? And just to give a little backstory on that, he's 19, so that's from Jamaica days,
Yep.
right? So when he was younger, I wasn't in this space that I'm in right now, right? So now it's a little bit too late for me to kind of, bridge that gap. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm trying. So what I want to do is, make sure that he has at least some information that he can use to open his eyes to the opportunities around him. I don't want
Right.
him to be banging on the glass all his life. I want him to look around and see the
And the
door
door's right wide open.
and walk through it,
That's good
right?
story.
So, yeah, I wrote it for my son, and I thought to myself, you know what? I have two more sons, right? They're
Yeah.
much younger. So if I could put this in a way that, it's easy to understand, easy to read, right? If you're 12, 11, 12, 13, you can read this book, right? And understand the concepts in it, right?
Yeah.
Then it would be beneficial to me, for me and for my sons, for me to do it like that. So
Right.
if I can trust the information for my own kids, right? And I love my kids dearly,
Yes, of course.
right? Then it's definitely something you can do for your kids as well. What's next for me? I do have, within my other circle here, a few friends of mine, we're having this podcast called Common Sense Podcast.
Nice.
Right? So that's coming, I'd say probably early January, late December.
And what is Common Sense Podcast about?
So it's not just about finances, even though we spell the sense CENTS.
Yeah.
And the common is KOMMON, so common sense.
Yeah.
So what it's about is, everything, everyday life, because everyday life affects your finances,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And you know what? If your friends are not doing well, so whether they're struggling mentally, they're struggling with finances,
Yeah.
or health, or anything at all they're struggling with, it affects you as well, right? So we talk about how to navigate that.
Yeah.
We talk about the struggles that we face, some of the struggles that we face, and how to overcome those struggles.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of very interesting topics that we're looking at, to get when we get started. So, look out for that. Once that has started, I'll come back and
Absolutely.
we can have
Come
another
back.
conversation.
You can promote the podcast. We can talk about it. And it's very good. Common Sense Podcast coming from Kamar Jackson and friends soon. So you said you guys going to launch December, January sometime?
December or January, somewhere there.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
And
End of
I mean,
December.
the podcast doesn't really matter. But what geographical location you guys are at? Or it wouldn't matter anyways because podcasts are all online.
So the unique thing about this space, this podcast space, is that you can be anywhere. So I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
Two of my friends are in the US, and one of them is in Jamaica.
Oh, nice. So, that's very...
So we get it from all different perspectives and different diaspora, because
exactly.
my experience as a Canadian is going to be different from their experience as a US citizen,
someone living in Jamaica.
different from the Jamaican.
That's right.
But we can all relate because, there is this commonality, which is, we're all Jamaicans, or we're all Black, or we're all fathers, or, there's, different... there's this thing that binds us together, but at the same time we have different experiences and we have different perspectives.
Absolutely. And again, you're talking about common sense or common sense scent. The Millionaire Syllabus, folks. Kamar Jackson. You can get him on Amazon.ca, Amazon.com, and order the book. Get a couple copies. You can use it to your friends, your kids. I always like to transfer knowledge to the next generation. Kamar have the same vision. He transferred the knowledge from his 19-year-old son to the rest of his sons coming up. To your success. See you then. Thank you very much, Kamar, for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Yeah. Young and Rich University. Financial podcast educating folks in a step-by-step model. To become financially successful. Author of this book, The Millionaire Syllabus, Kamar Jackson. Educating the community. Educating his kids. You get it on Amazon. Talk about stocks, mutual funds, real estate, and every different things, insurance and finances and credit. It's important that we continue to educate our community, educate the kids, educate the next generation on how they too can retire young, retire rich. My name is Frank Corbin. To your success. See you then.